Good morning. How's everybody? Steve, how are you, sir?
I'm good.
Yeah,
How's it going?
I'm good. Y'all
I'm
like the
sitting
fans?
above my monitors, which is really bothering me.
Is it bothering you?
Whatever. I can't do a lot about it because otherwise I have to raise the desk too high and then my wrist angles are all weird. And that's not great either.
Oh, yeah. No, I get it.
Anyway.
That's why I don't touch my desk if I can avoid it. How's
You
everybody doing?
know what I can't do is I can't interact with the chat.
Oh, can you not? I had to actually click on the chat, like the bubble for the person itself, not the comment. See if that changes for you.
Nope.
Okay, well, we're trading roles today then. I'm going to work on that, see if we can't find a way. Hey, y'all, how are you doing?
It might just be because I'm on the guest side.
Maybe. There may be a way to do this. We have fancy new intro music and video, and it's dumb, y'all. I just had some spare time. Hope everybody's good. We're trying new software today we're trying to figure out the smoothest way to do these live streams across multiple channels. It is interesting to say the least. But most things appear to be working today. We didn't get it to the live stream, to the Facebook page. That's okay.
Apparently, I have an echo.
Yeah, let me see if I can fix that. Maybe I can. I remember there being an echo cancellation. No, it is canceled for me. Let me turn down my headphones and see if it's because my headphones are being picked up in my microphone. Okay.
I mean, I don't hear anything. So
yeah, I don't hear it either. So that's real weird. How bad is it? Y'all tell me if it got better. I am using open back headphones and a shotgun microphone, so if I need to, I can go back to a different microphone. But yeah, so we've already got a bunch of questions. Let's start with Kyle, because Kyle already said he was going to come here to ask absolutely ridiculous questions. Kyle says, if you find yourself in a one-on-one fight with someone of your same strength, build, and ability, one of you have a knife, the other will have a baseball bat. What weapon do you pick? I'm taking a bat, man. Give me reach.
On a one-on-one fight with someone of my same strength. Oh, I'm definitely going with the bat.
Yeah.
I'm fucking incredible with the bat.
I've never trained with a knife, but I've definitely swung a baseball bat a few thousand times.
Yeah. No, that's 100%. 100% the situation.
Yeah. So
I'm trying to figure out if I have anything else open. I don't. I mean, I try to log out and log back in, but
interesting. Let me figure out the
also I think you turned your. I think in the process of turning your headphones down, you turned your mic down. No, you're all the way out now.
Coming back. Am I here now?
Yes, but you're. I think it's on my end, and I don't know why. I'm going to log out and log back in. It's
okay,
weird.
Go for it.
Because you're not hearing anything.
I don't hear anything. All right, while Steve comes back, technology. It's lovely and wonderful. So Steve is rejoining us here.
Are we working?
We will see. Do you have your monitors on by any chance?
I don't have any headphone source except for mine.
Okay, so that's all you've got. You only have the headphones.
So right now I can't hear you at all.
That's real weird. I'm turning my headphones down in case I had them too loud, which is a real possibility, because I tend to run hot. Let me see if I can let's see if I can fix the echo in the least. I don't know what it means. It says that I cannot turn on echo cancellation for the current output. So anyway,
yeah. Have an option to do anything. they're saying I'm being sent to two outputs. Let me try something stupid, but that should not have any effect.
Okay.
But maybe it did. I don't know. Is that working better for anybody?
I don't know.
I just turned the gain all the way down on the first input on my interface.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that I mean, I guess that's a question someone's asking. Do you have are you monitoring any of the stream directly?
Yes, but it's completely muted.
Because my thought is like if you have like a mic.
It's worse. Steve, whatever you did made it worse.
I didn't do anything.
It didn't do anything.
I don't have.
Oh man.
I don't have anything open on my side as far as I can tell.
Okay, give me just a second. Y'all hang with us. Give us some questions. We'll come back to them. I'm going to try to fix this, see if it's on a software end. We're not using OBS. We're actually using an app called Ecamm Live. And I don't think there's a way for Steve to have two inputs. So I don't think he has two inputs. So that's the interesting thing. Let me mute a couple of things just to see if I doubt that's going to do anything.
Let's see. Right now, microphone is only being used by Edge, so I have no other microphone on. I mean, I can reboot my everything.
Y'all tell me if this fixed it, because I think it is on my end. I'm gonna mute something, and Steve, you take over talking.
Philip, why don't you mute something, and I'm gonna take over talking for a minute. I don't know. Am I still echoing? Let me know. Philip is apparently muted everything, so there's that. If it's still echoing, it fixed it when you muted, so. It's never me, guys. I'm a audio professional. I'm not good at guitar. I'm not good at editing videos. I'm really not good at any of this stuff. I've been doing this for way too long to not be good for anything. Kyle says, please read the chat. It's going too fast. There is some weird artifacting I'm picking up. But
weird.
I mean, can be from a lot of things.
Did that fix it, y'all? I changed one thing. We're gonna see if that changed it at all. It fixed for a minute, but I'm catching up. So if it came back, let me know.
Yeah, because your mic was off, and then Richard says you can just use hand signals, which is going to be you need the placards like the University of Michigan or whatever cards.
Okay, so I found out what it is. I actually had to go
in, and then now Kyle says it's back.
Oh yeah, okay. So it's somewhere in. It's happening somewhere within my UA is actually where it's happening. So it's. Let me see if I can. This is super, super weird. I need to do some creative routing. So you continue, Steve. I'll fix this.
I'm not sending anything. So, the suggestion is that I'm not sending mix minus. I don't even know what that means. I'm just talking to a microphone, and that is the only audio source in my room. If you're getting full source, like I have no control. I'm just a guest. The only option that I have to do here is my input. I mean, I can switch to it's only I didn't tell it to do. Here, let me. Oh, now my audio is completely dead. What's up? I mean, if I change to a different source, I'm trying to see what else I can even change to. I've got a bunch of things that are just like default this, default that. Well, I think I'm clear, Michael, because Philip muted his whole side. So what I think is happening is I'm talking, it's running my audio direct to stream, and then it's hitting Philip's computer, and Philip's computer is feeding my audio back into it. I don't know why. It's like Philip's system is bouncing mine twice. So, because he's muted and he's gone. Bye, Philip. See you later. I don't know where he went. One of the things I like about this mug, this Bees Music Shop mug, is that it's double-sided, which I really appreciate when mugs have the same logo on both sides, because it means I don't have to like drink in a certain way for other people to see what the cup I'm drinking. So it's like I'm promoting to whoever's looking at it, y'all out there, but I'm also promoting to myself. And I feel like that's very important. He's back. Maybe he's back.
Maybe. Let's see if you can hear me now. So what I did is I actually swapped to my camera audio. So we're gonna see if that fixed. No, Ian. We'll see. I'm using everything I normally use to podcast with. It's my full rig.
We're probably echoing again.
Is it echoing again?
I don't know. I can't tell.
Yeah,
I'm
I
just
have no
wearing
idea.
headphones. I mean, I'm getting like a little, but I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
know what's
fine.
going on.
I think we fixed it. It has something to do with the way.
I just realized that the same issue that we always have. The chat is like 30 seconds behind us, right?
Yeah, exactly. We have to wait for them to tell us. But I think what's happening is it was looping back through the Apollo, and so Ecamm is treating the output of my Apollo as the output from my microphone. So we were getting you talking plus it coming through the Apollo like half a second later.
Right, but
it shouldn't do that, but this works fine. What I did is I plugged my shotgun mic directly into my camera. So,
well, at least
fine.
it works. Yeah, because I was going to say, because your Apollo, I would think, because I'm running the Volt, which is also a UA product.
Yeah.
And I would expect the Apollo, if you're just connected via USB, that it's going to be splitting it into whatever. I don't know what the maximum number of buses are on a USB, but it's like 8 or 16 or 32 or hell if I know.
Yeah, it was doing something very, very odd in it was doing something very, very odd in console is what it basically amounts to.
The unfortunate thing, and I don't have enough experience. I'm not saying this is like. I'm not saying the product is bad. It 100% could be user error, but the number of users that I've seen that have really strange compatibility issues with UA products seems really high.
It does.
Like
I think it's due to the complexity of the whole console thing.
Yeah. So I feel like I know somebody else who has an Apollo that every time they want to use Zoom with their Apollo, they have to reboot their computer. Like just won't work. It won't work native. Like it won't work the first time. It's weird. They have to like have a fresh boot.
Yeah, that's super frustrating. I wouldn't want to deal with that. So,
anyway, sounds like we're good.
Yeah, we're good. So let's go back to some questions. Y'all make sure to hit any like, subscribe, thumbs up things. We're going to mention that now that we fixed issues. Richard Clark has the question. Has anyone used any of the Ampero stuff? I have. I had Ari from Hot Tone. I almost said it the way y'all say it, and y'all say it wrong.
Is it Hot Tone?
It's Hot Tone.
There's only one T.
I know. I'm aware. I'm totally aware. But that is how Ari, who works for them, says it, and so that's how I say it. But they sent me an Ampero Stomp 2 to check out. It was pretty good. I didn't have any real problems with it. I'll give you my biggest, the biggest thing I had issue with was that, there's not a lot of updates that come out very often. Sometimes there's just some, I don't know, the features don't come out very quickly on it. But I thought it sounded good. It had a touch screen. I don't know. It's mildly more affordable than an HX Stomp. It's really not that much more affordable. So, I mean, it's an option. I have not tried their newest unit. Steve, you tried any of them?
I've not used a single Hotone product.
I also had
or a Hot One product or a Hot Tone product.
Yeah, Hot One was how I said it at first. So, I tried the Soul Press.
Hotone.
I tried the Soul Press. Their
Hmm.
which is their headphone, not headphone. Their wah pedal, volume pedal, hybrid expression pedal thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. So,
In all of the pictures of the Mackie EM99, which is the mic I'm using, it does indicate that you should be talking through the end of the microphone and not the sides. So I am using this correctly, because there are some microphones that have this general like big big uh wow, that's a visual uh column, whatever, tube shape,
mm-hmm.
and you're actually supposed to be talking from over here or whatever. But
Yeah, yeah,
um yeah, what's it? Richard Clark says Beast has a Keeley Catverns pedal already running in the Catverns part of my board. I got the 1 ton Bees, which is the Mojo Hand, this guy, and then I have the Cat mod, which is the Keeley Cat mod, and I like this pedal way more than I expected to. Not because I'm like thought it would be bad or anything, but just because it's described. This one is a chonk range overdrive, but it's described as like a full gain or a full range transparent overdrive kind of a deal. Um, it's really like it's like a dirty. If a clean boost, I think of a good clean boost as a more better pedal, like because really a good clean boost isn't clean. A good clean boost, I think, is a little uh adds a little sizzle, like a little high mid. The Kitiana.
yeah. So they sent
Small
me.
boost.
So yeah. So Brian sent me the 1 ton bees
Yeah.
and a Kitiana, and he sent me. Um, hold on, we're gonna get there. He sent me an extra. It's in the bag, so I can't even show you. I have an extra 1 ton bees that I got to figure out how I'm gonna give away.
Yeah.
It's in
Same
the
boat
box.
here.
Yeah. In fact, I was talking to Brian about it the other day, and when I was thanking him for it, he said, "Yeah, just I know you wanted to do some giveaways and stuff like that." And I was like, "Yeah." I said, "I'm just waiting to see how 60 Cycle Hum's going to give theirs away, so I
Oh
don't
my
overlap."
gosh. So we're talking about there's some software. It's not Gleam, but it's something like Gleam
Mm-hmm.
that Derek over at Rev was telling us about. So we may try to do something that's like a subscribe here, email here, which we don't do anything with emails. We don't, but in order to contact the winner, we need emails, right?
Right.
So it would be one of those things where it's like put in your email, and then put in your email for one entry, and then subscribe for a couple other entries. Yeah, the 1 ton bees is a Cusack, is owned by Cusack pedals, Mojo
And
Hand Effects.
yeah, and the Kitiana is a
This
Keeley
Keeley.
pedal.
Yeah.
It's the mini Katana boost, but it's called the Kitiana small boost.
Yeah.
Um, I played it. It's really good. I hate mini pedals, but it really sounds really 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 good. So
Yeah. Yeah, good morning everyone, by the way. We are 18 minutes in and just getting rolling.
yeah.
Let's hit some more questions, man.
All right. Is it worth to wait and go for the HX Stomp? I'm only concerned with effects, not sims or recording. Don't get the Stomp either. If you just want effects, get the HX effects.
Yeah,
That's
that's what I was going to say.
yeah. I don't know. You can't see it on the screen, but that's what's on my main board is the HX effects. It's all of the effects, none of the amp sims. It also does IRs if you wanted to, so you can
Hmm.
actually run an amp emulator into the effects loop of it, and then through an IR inside the HX effects.
Right.
That's what I would do. All right, let's drop that one. Um, let's see, David Ross. How is the Condor? This one.
Have
Uh,
you played the original Condor?
I've not. I've
Okay.
listened to a lot of it. I've watched Joey Landreth work magic with it, and
Hmm.
so I didn't want to miss this one because you know how Chase Bliss pedals go.
Yeah.
Last I checked, they still had stock of these though. They did not move.
Interesting.
They did not move like a typical Chase Bliss release. So the real magic in the Condor, I did an Instagram reel on this and a YouTube short. The real magic in the Condor is not using it as an effects. I mean, as a EQ pedal. I mean, that's
Right.
good. The EQ is real good, but the real magic is in using the ramp feature, and so you can
Mm-hmm.
use the ramp to go between settings, and you can get a tremolo or a univibe or a dirty
Yeah.
univibe, or I haven't even attached an expression pedal to it yet.
Every Chase Bliss pedal is a wah
Yeah, or a chorus. It can do that
or a
too.
chorus. Yeah.
Yeah, so I highly recommend it. I know it's super expensive. It's mega expensive. $400 is wild for
That's
an
what
EQ pedal.
right, but that's what all their pedals are.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yep.
that's just
I love that they're offering the upgrade for $49 for people that already own a Condor.
yeah, so that's been kind of the discussion that I've been having with Ryan is whether or not he's going to upgrade his Condor or just buy the new one and have two Condors, stereo Condor,
Mm-hmm.
which I think stereo Condor is the right answer. But it's not my money. But I know he really like the Condors. Actually, I think one of his favorite um
Yeah, I
Chase Bliss
really
pedals.
I really like it, but it's to me it's got one of the steeper learning curves for a Chase Bliss
Sure.
because to do like all the other Chase Bliss pedals, I could tweak and find amazing settings without ever touching the dip switches on the back
Right.
or
Right.
using secondary functions. This one you have to use the dip switches and the secondary functions. You've got to get the most out of it. We got another thumbs down. This thing shows me thumbs downs now, and that makes me sad. Somebody doesn't like
You
us.
did a thumbs down?
Somebody did. No, somebody actually thumbs down the video.
Oh, that's dark.
Losers. No, I fixed it. No more bubbles when I do thumbs up. I found the setting to turn that off. Actually, Blake over at the Tone Mob had Landon
Get
Bailey,
landing on, yeah.
and they talked about it. And I was like, I'm gonna find a way to turn this off, and I did. And I sent it to Blake as well. But yeah, I can't. I got to cover this one. Uh, why do I refuse to own a Mulecaster? Do I hate Matt Ike? Somebody else thumbs down. Thank you for the engagement. Uh,
I thought you
I have a Mavis mule. I have a mule Mavis. I don't have a
yeah.
mule caster.
Oh, okay.
So
I think of Mulecaster as the name of the brand, which clearly
mm,
is not the
no,
case.
Mule
Oh.
Resophonic Guitars is the name of the brand, or just Mule. Um, I it's a lot of money. They're so expensive. But having said that, I talked to Matt this morning.
If you can highlight this comment here, we
Which
got
one?
someone in here, bullets for teeth.
Oh yeah.
For those of you folks who wonder where um uh Stringjoy gets its enamel, when you trade your teeth, your normal teeth for bullets, those teeth go to Stringjoy. That's how
Yeah.
they coat that's how they get the enamel to to coat there.
And you
That
know,
was a
disclaimer:
dumb, I said a dumb thing.
we are neither medical nor ammunition professionals, and we cannot condone nor uh, confirm that that is how they do it. Richard, they don't show thumbs downs on Facebook anymore.
Hey,
The
you want to hear something?
only
You
the
want to hear some?
creators can see them.
You
Yeah,
want to
go
hear
ahead.
something dumb?
Always.
I think the last time you used Riverside, you connected to 60 cycle hum.
Oh no!
I have your Molly Miller. I can. So if you want me to do anything with it, I can download it on my end.
Can you really?
Yeah, I'm looking at it. I'm like 60 cycle hum live stream, 57 minutes. I was like, what is this? And I'm looking at it, and it's your interview with Molly Miller.
Oh no. Yeah, you can take that down. I think I remember what happened. I had forgotten we had tried to connect all that, and I did
Yeah,
fix
yeah.
it after that interview. So,
And I
um,
think because the last time we tried to use Riverside, I gave you like the perpetual
yep,
code,
exactly.
um, and it did not.
It didn't want to work.
Apparently it finally worked. Uh,
That's so dumb. It's so dumb.
I'll have to do it some other time because I'm just logged in as editor and I can't delete anything as an editor. So that's
Oh,
fine.
that's fine.
Anyway, what else is new, man?
For me, what else have I got new? Oh, I went to my local store, and they had a used. I don't want to give it away until I can grab the thing I'm looking for. Anyway, they had this.
Oh,
This is a Johnson square neck dobro that I bought for $200. So anyway, that's all you're getting. Hey, we played guitar on a live stream. Um,
there you go.
but I'm super
Uh,
pumped about that. I need to do some work on it. It works fine as is. It's got a pickup. The pickup's kind of rattly sounding, and
mhm.
one string doesn't sound seated right. So I'm gonna use it to do a YouTube series around upgrading a resonator. I'm gonna upgrade the cone. I'm gonna upgrade the spider bridge. I'm going to add a tone knob and volume knob to it for the pickup. And
Right.
yeah, and maybe new tuners. The tuners feel like every time I go to tune it, I feel like it's gonna snap one of the plastic tuners like right off. But it was a $200 Johnson resonator.
Yeah. You can't go wrong at that kind of price.
Yeah. What about you? What you got new?
I don't have anything. Well, I guess I finally I bought these lights, these LEDs back here. So
Yeah.
I got a few. Can make an evil back here. You guys want evil? That's. I mean, there's so many other lights going on that these are really only accenting. So trying to switch to red doesn't. I mean, it would be more if I turned off all the other lights in here,
Sure.
but I just run it on like a mid warm. But the other thing, and I finally been messing around with it just on the couch, and I posted about it on Threads last night. I
On.
restrung this. I don't think the electronics
Oh.
work. This is a 1980 whatever. It's an SQ serial for folks in the know. It's a SQ serial Squire. So I think those were 83, 84.
Oh
Bullet.
yeah.
This is the guitar that I talked about it on with Ryan a bit ago, where it's the same, like Ben Gibbard was super into them because it's like a full strat length 25.5 inch, but it's a really small neck, but it's full length. It's really but it's like a tiny body. Like this body is so
Yeah,
small.
that's what I was looking at. The body looks so weird, and I couldn't figure out why. Look, we are playing all kinds of guitar on the live stream today. Can't nobody say
But
shit.
I don't know if the pickups in that guitar work because I had to do a bunch of stuff with it
Hmm.
and I've never finished it. But I finally got it restrung um, with some String Joy orbiters. Episode is not sponsored by String Joy, but I'm still talking about them. And I just so yesterday I did this thing. I recommend it just for like fun background noodling. Is find one of these long um like lo-fi hip hop streams or whatever
Oh
where it's just
yeah.
pretty like sparse music and just like practice playing over it. It's good for me. Um it's good for me because uh I didn't realize this. My ear is not great. I've never been good at finding keys. It actually sucks when like I'm playing with other people and
Hmm.
they're like they just start riffing and I'm like I have no freaking clue what you're doing, dude. I'm trying to like stare at their hands and I'm like why is it that you're playing like, G, A minor, these chord shapes, but like when I'm trying to follow it's a G bar chord and then A minor going up and they're just going up, right? I'm just like what the hell? Like I'm matching you. I'm playing bass or whatever,
Yeah.
and then they're like, oh, I'm down two and a half step. I'm like, so great. Like my visuals just hosed. My ears not never. I just never focus on trying to develop ear, so I
Yeah.
don't have it. And it's for some people it's a hard thing to develop.
I'll be honest. For me, it was a hard thing to develop in music school. I had to develop
Yeah.
it in school, and I was just talking about this to someone the other day, and how hard a time I had because of just the way I hear. In fact, when I used to sing, I used to naturally sing a harmony tone instead of the actual pitch I was trying to sing. Super chat. How are String Joy different from Ernie Balls? All right, we'll handle a super chat, y'all. Incidentally, I'm gonna make a plea. My channel's getting real close to finally 1,000 subs and enough watch hours that I can
Oh
accept
yeah.
super chats on my side. So if y'all want to go sub and watch a few videos over there, I'd be greatly appreciative. Have some great interviews. That gets a few hours listening immediately there. But sassy for me, one, I'm just gonna be honest. I don't like Ernie Balls. I had a negative experience in the early 2000s with them, and I've never gotten over it. I had 3 packs in a row where the high E came unwound while I was tuning to pitch after putting them on.
Right.
And that's not indicative. That's not me saying they're trash. I'm saying I had a negative experience and that
Mm-hmm.
has jaded me to them, but that doesn't mean they're not fine. But String Joy, they're made higher tolerances in America by smaller batches. They're with a higher quality control. They're just better made. And I've been one of those people. Don't get me wrong. I still use D'Addario XLs on most things, but
Yeah.
on a lot of stuff, I only use um, String Joy strings.
Yeah. I can't. I actually have very little experience with Ernie balls. I'm not the best at figuring out um, string quality. Like I'm not a good representation for string quality. I've talked about this on the show a lot with Ryan. And it's not because his guitars sit out, because all my guitars are sitting out. And I've had guitars that sit out. My hands, just whatever's going on with my sweat, my
Yeah.
sweat. Ugh. Now he also, like, I think for our lifetimes, like he's like a lot more prone to just like bored on a Friday night, pick up a guitar kind of a thing, right?
Oh, sure.
But even when we were playing in bands together or whatever, like most of the guitars up here, my Les Paul has newer strings on it. This Bullet has newer strings. Every other instrument on the wall back here, probably the strings are at least 2 years old.
Oof.
Now, granted, some of these don't get played a ton, but like the Telecaster, I actually play a decent amount. My Stratocaster, I play a decent amount. The strings are still in, like, they're not new. They're
Yeah, yeah.
clearly not new, but they're not gross. Like Ryan, I've played guitars at Ryan's where he has restrung them on a Sunday, and on the next Sunday, I picked that up and I'm just like, dude, what did you do to this guitar? I actually years subbed and banged. Uh,
Appreciate it.
Years ago, I we the one well the first PRS demo we did was for a PRS something with a Bigsby. I loved that guitar. That was such a good guitar. What's the one that they don't do it? I don't think they make it anymore. But it was the PRS Starla. I think it was the
Oh,
Star.
yeah.
I think it was before they were calling them S2.
Yeah, they
Maybe
were
they've
they
always
were
been S2.
no, they were core and then they called them S2, but
Yeah.
they're not core in the same way that like we think of core
Right.
today.
So this is like probably around 2016, I think. Um, and I'm pretty sure they sent us the guitar. Ryan played it for a bit, and then I probably borrowed it for like a month. And I think I restrung it. No, I did not restring it at that time. So maybe I had it before he had it. And the whole time I had it, like the strings were fine. And then I'm pretty sure I gave it to him, and then I picked it up again like a week later, and the strings were just black.
Yeah. That's
Um,
dude, that drives me crazy. But also you primarily play bass. So bass strings can go a while.
oh yeah, for bass, yeah. But even like I said, it's definitely like a hand sweat thing.
Yeah.
Like even when I'm playing guitar all the time, um,
I
Now
have a
bass strings I will let go longer anyway. But going back to Sassy's question, Ernie
yeah
Ball strings are made in
yeah in
California.
California. Yeah, they are. Um, I on the sweat thing, I used to play with a guitarist who his strings, if he didn't change them often enough, I've never seen this ever happen. He
Mhm.
must have the most acidic sweat on the planet because when you snap a string, it'll like recoil and because it's under tension and it just recoils.
Yeah.
I've seen a string that he did not change for a long time and he
Hmm.
played it and it broke like dry spaghetti. It just crumbled, just snapped.
Weird.
I no idea. It's super weird. I'm gonna go back to a couple of fun questions here. Hold on. I got um I love this one from Kyle. So all right. See, I could never do this with Ryan. You're the only person I can do this with. What are you more likely to be
Oh,
able to do? Get a base hit off an MLB pitcher, catch a pass against an NFL cornerback, or make a bucket on an NBA player one on one?
oh man,
I know
none.
this one. No,
No.
I'm very unlikely to be able to do any of these things, but the most likely
Mhm.
is get a base hit off an MLB pitcher, and that percentage chance is like 0.0001%. There is no chance I'm catching a pass against an NFL corner or making a bucket on an NBA player.
This is rough. This is a hard question. Um,
I'm 5'9 3/4", y'all. Those other two things are not happening.
my my hands. I do not have it. So talking about earlier, Kyle's earlier question about bat versus knife, and I said, well, I use a bat, but I do not have. I had really good slow pitch softball bat speed. Guys were always like, "Damn, you like you got a quick swing and whatever." I'm like, Jesus, no. Like I could about the fastest thrown pitch I probably ever actually made contact with was like low 80s, and
Yeah.
that was a struggle. Um, and and so there was that, and then so I don't know, man. Base hit off an MLB pitcher when like all those guys are throwing changeups that are already above, and that's hit and making contact on like low 80s or whatever. That was when I was like 18 years old and could actually track a damn pitch. The last time I went in a batting cage, I could not track anything above like 70 miles an hour. Like it's
Well,
just been too long. I could rebuild that,
yeah, I think I
but
think that's a skill you could build. And I'm not saying that getting a hit is easy, but you give me
yeah,
unlimited chances, that's the one I'm going to be able to do before I'll be able to do the others.
I honest okay. I think fuck man. Make a bucket on an NBA player one on one. That's tough. It's probably very dependent on the player, but the short guys are still probably way too fast.
Yeah.
Anyone above anyone probably 5'10" or taller. I say small guys. I mean, I don't even know who the shortest guy in the NBA is right now, but I'm sure they're way too fast. Um, and then anyone above like 5'10", it probably has like a 40-inch vertical, so I'm screwed there too. I'm gonna go with, and I already know my limitations here too. I'm gonna go with catch a pass against an NFL cornerback.
Really?
The
Okay.
problem is I'm not fast, and so this is a this is a fun
Yeah.
football conversation. Tom Brady was notoriously slow, right?
Yeah, that's
He
true.
was notorious slow. Let me see if I can find Brady
While you're
40
doing that,
time.
I'm going to queue up the next question.
So Brady was notoriously slow with a 5.17 second 40. Um, a 5.17 second 40 against like the average person is actually really freaking fast.
Oh yeah, yeah. In high
Like,
school, at my fastest, when I was trying to get a chance to play college ball, I ran a 4.7. Now, if I could get under 6, I'd be surprised.
yeah.
I'd be highly surprised. Actually, yeah, there's no way I'm getting under 6 right now. Um, I
Apparently,
yeah.
Apparently, Tom Brady dropped his 40 time a couple years ago.
Really?
He dropped it to 5.12. Like
Did
as a 46-year-old or however, yeah,
yeah.
46-year-old.
Knowing that we're not a sports, either one of us are sports channels, but did you have watched any of the NFL Combine this week? A dude
Um,
ran like a 4.21 or something like
yeah,
that.
I heard about that. So yeah, T777 says Tom Brady wasn't a wide receiver, 100%. So the one thing I will say, and I can't calculate for speed because I just can't think about it. Um, I am 6'2" right now. I'm 6'2", about 245 pounds. So if I got enough coaching to learn how to like use my body, I think regardless of speed, um, uh, I could with a well thrown pass, I think I can just get in the way enough to prevent a 5'10", 180-pound cornerback from getting in front of me. So it's not a
Yeah.
matter of like this. At that point, it becomes a physics problem. It's not a I'm more athletic or whatever. It's
Yeah.
that you got offensive linemen catching passes in the NFL.
That's true.
Granted, those guys are like 6'7", 300 pounds.
And often no one is
Uh,
covering them.
that's also fair. But yeah, I think again, like there's other issues like the fact that with a 5-yard pad zone, uh I again, cornerback 5'10", 180, whatever, but they're gonna have that forearm shuffle like in the first 5 yards that's gonna like put me on my ass 9 out of 10 times,
Yeah.
probably not 99 out of 100 times.
Right.
um so again, like the batting thing, yeah, maybe I could bat like I could have a point oh, a 10 bat 10.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking. You give
But
me unlimited chances, getting a hit is the one that's going to happen before the other two.
I'm thinking like getting a hit, that's not making contact. That's actually driving something through a hole somewhere.
Hey, he didn't say there were fielders anywhere. He just
No,
said that.
I
Okay.
say I think of getting a hit as like a base hit. Like it's
Okay,
not
well, I'm
just
just
making
going to
contact.
say that those players are going to get old real fast watching me try to get this hit. I'm going to
Yeah.
swing until my shoulders come out of socket. All right, Steve, FMK, PRS Gibson Fender. This feels like a 60 cycle hum topic.
FMK. Oh my
See, I
god.
have my
This
answer. That's why
actually
I'm waiting.
sucks.
See, I'm waiting for you to go first because I know my answer.
Yeah, probably uh hmm. Well, I think the obvious one for me, like because basses, guitars all across the board, is Mary Fender. That's the easy one. Let's just get that out of the way. I
Yeah.
own one, two, three. I own four Fender, three Fender guitars, and a Fender bass. So that's an easy one. Granted, I guess a couple of those are Squires. Oh, I'm actually, and I'm also actually, I'm not even counting the Bullet, which is sitting right here next to me.
Yeah.
So, and I guess technically my Telecaster's only sort of a Fender, but whatever. So that's the Mary. Um, I feel like based on what I own and what I play, it's Mary Fender, uh, F Gibson, and Kill PRS.
Okay.
But I think like I got my Gibson because I could.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair.
If that Gibson, if at that time, there was talking about the Starla earlier, if there was a PRS for $550 or that Les Paul for $550, I might have gotten the PRS instead. So that's kind of a tough one, but I think based on what I own, I would probably kill PRS, F Gibson, Mary Fender.
Yeah. I would FMK in that order. Um, Fender Gibson PRS. That's just my order. It's not that I hate PRS, but it's like that's the brand I've had the hardest
So
time warming up
yeah,
to. And
someone's got to lose.
yeah, someone's got to lose. I own a guitar from all brands. Um, Gibson just feel right to me.
Hmm.
Obviously, I'm ignoring some decision making at the corporate level. The guitars
Oh yeah.
feel right to me. I like Fender. I've got a Fender next to me right here that I've been playing for a little bit last couple of days. And I do have one PRS that's a good guitar, but I wouldn't keep it over the other two. Oh, Richard, we know you mean it in the good way. That's how I mean it as well. For Fender, I mean it in the good way. Um, Here you go. Let's do these. I keep forgetting I have to actually close the question before pulling up the new one.
Oh, that's
Uh,
weird.
yeah, because it'll just overlay
Right.
multiple. Oh no, it won't. Never mind. I take it back. It does it. Okay. Three pedals should a beginner bass player pick up?
Uh.
A tuner. Let's start with that one. A tuner. I'm gonna say a compressor. And don't be picky about the compressor to start with.
Hmm.
Get
Hmm.
something simple to use. Um, and I think as a third one, um, get an envelope filter and get your funk on.
Hmm. I'm gonna say a fuzz.
Mm-hmm.
Some kind of fuzz or some kind of dirt, but I would say a fuzz.
Mm-hmm.
A good wide range fuzz. Actually, my favorite of the various fuzzes I've run through up top. It's out way out of focus, but this green guy right here,
Oh yeah.
Ren and Cuff, Pickle Pie for bass. I would say that. Michael Freer's suggestions are like tuner, compressor, rat. That's a good setup, but I would say
Yeah.
a fuzz with a clean blend. That way you don't lose low end when you go up. That's also my problem with the rat on bass is you lose all the low end. I've heard people argue like it doesn't matter. Like once you're hitting the drive, who
Actually, you want
freaking
to know what you
cares?
get, Steve? Here it is. For that third pedal,
Uh,
it's
yeah, I
got a
don't know about
clean
that one.
blend. It's got a clean blend. Come on.
Uh, it does. I didn't
Yeah.
know that. All
That's
right.
what the little black knob is a
Okay.
mix for clean or overdrive. Um, I'm
So
not gonna
that
lie.
could that so that could work. That
Yeah,
could work.
this is the best tube screamer. I'm gonna call it out right now. This is the best tube screamer.
Dang. All right.
That period. This is the best one. Um,
Um,
I
my
own
other
several. I play a bunch.
so my other two choices would be a chorus. I really like chorus on bass.
Oh yeah.
And then I don't, tuner, just get a freaking headstock tuner. Who cares? Um, my third pedal for bass would probably be, um, I don't know. You don't need a third pedal.
Well then, just use a tuner then, and don't
Just
look
get a
like an
drive.
amateur.
Just get a drive pedal and a chorus. There's probably something else. I like the envelope filter suggestion.
Yeah.
Get maybe a reverb.
Reverb on bass is always interesting. That's not something I
Reverb
would
on
have
bass is
ever
dumb.
considered.
Reverb
Uh,
on bass is legitimately stupid.
yeah, I think you're right though. I think definitely like a compressor and a drive of some kind is
Yeah,
a good
I will.
shot.
I will say, like, when I put eventually, I'd like to put a bass board together. Of course, if I put my bass board together, that means I won't be able to put my Caroline Pedals Board of Doom together because I'll have to pull my somersault chorus off of somersault chorus off of the Caroline Pedals Board of Doom and
You
put
just
it
have to
on
get
the
another
bass
one.
board. Obviously, I mean, I do have two Meteores now, uh, but that's a different story. An octave. Yeah, Bullets for Teeth says you want a Boss
Oh,
OC3 octave on. I would say yeah, an up octave
yeah.
for bass is like I used to use though you could knock. I feel like you could almost knock that out with a just get an octave fuzz,
Yeah.
but then you can't run the octave by itself, so that's a problem. Um,
It's over there, so I can't go get it. But can I? Do I have enough? I'm just gonna put this in. Hold on, I'm gonna grab this.
Bye, Philip. See you later. Um, Sanzap bass driver. I haven't used the Sanzap bass driver itself. I have used the Para driver, I think it was.
Oh yeah.
And I do like the SansAmp stuff. Yeah, I used the Paradriver. I think it was the Paradriver 2 version 2. I've used that. It's pretty good. There's kind of some, I mean, they're very plain. There are buttons that you hit that like, oh, this is like when you look at the manual. I remember when I was using it, they're like, oh, looking through the manual, like this is our recommended Ampeg SVT setting, and I remember dialing that in and being like, I think I just don't like SVTs. Everything I've used that was trying to emulate an Ampeg SVT, I just thought sounded like dick.
Interesting. I
Yeah.
like an SVT, but my preferred sound is that one, and so I need something that does the B15 sound. That's what I need. I don't know if you can see that in the background very well, but B15 is the way to go. At a good bass fuzz.
Mm.
The Mythos Hephaestus. Now this is the one they did because they accidentally ordered they ordered a bunch of PCBs that were too big for the enclosure they normally use. So they got these made up and did it as a partnership with Rhett Shull, but they still
Oh,
sell
okay.
it. They still sell the same pedal in a smaller enclosure, and it's a low octave fuzz.
Interesting.
So this is a really great bass fuzz.
Yeah. I'm reading about it real quick. It does not control volume or gain. It controls voltage. So it's,
Yeah.
and that voltage is going to tweak the headroom. Is that
Yeah.
what's going on there?
Basically, you dial it to the left and you
Mm-hmm.
start to get gated a little bit, and it starts to give you more octave than fuzz, and it gets glitchy and weird and amazing. But then
Gotcha.
it's basic. Think of it like bias almost. You're
Right.
just adding
Yeah.
more power. So yeah, it gets really full and gritty and nasty sounding when you turn it all the way to the right.
uh, Beavis Christ, I don't, says fire Steve. I can't get fired. There's not a company.
Right. I
Um,
can't I
if
can't
if
fire
there
them.
if there is a company, I'm the co-owner, and since there's only two owners, I would have to vote myself off the board. So sorry, you're stuck with me.
Well, here's a
Um,
here's an interesting one. Here, Hero, do you have a an example? Because I feel like companies are typically very upfront about this. Um, I would like for this is a weird thing to want. I wish companies would be a little more uh, upfront with whether or not there's an analog dry through in pedals. Because if there's
right.
not, if there's an ADA conversion, whether you are bypassed or affecting the signal, then
Hmm.
it adds a latency. And so, like the guys over at that pedal show talk about, if you're running a stereo rig or a wet dry rig, it creates a phase issue. I just want that. I don't really care if pedals are analog or digital anymore.
Yeah, I think it's tough. I'm looking at. I think there's maybe some expectation that folks maybe know that, for example, like a reverb pedal or not, a reverb pedal's never, almost never. There's a
Yeah.
few, very few reverb pedals that are analog. But then the flip side of it is something like I'm looking at, because the kind of the king of DSP for the mass market is Keeley.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the Hydra, which is a reverb tremolo.
Uh huh.
And tremolo is one of those effects where a lot of folks are doing it digitally, but traditionally tremolo is an analog effect.
Right.
So that is kind of one where I think you have some potential whatever weirdness there. So I can kind of see the argument um, that like it would be nice to know, but I also like am kind of in the space where it either sounds good or it doesn't.
Yeah.
So, and if
That
it
that
sounds good,
yeah.
it sounds good, and if it doesn't,
It
then
doesn't.
it doesn't, and it doesn't really matter.
I recently received this, and I'm gonna work on trying to figure out how to do a video on it. This is one of those weird
Oh.
ones that is partially analog, partially. It's very Chase Bliss actually, in that it's digital controls for an analog circuit,
Mm-hmm.
and so that also kind of obfuscates things a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
I got a question for
yeah.
you. If there's not any other questions in the chat,
No. There's only
maybe there
one.
are.
There's only one that I will answer. Snarky. Um, oh, I don't remember where I put it. Oh, it's right here. Absolutely. That is NewTube, right? Oh, come on. There you go. That is NewTube right there. It is super cool. I love this pedal. I can't believe I trash talked that pedal for a while before I finally got one, and now I'm done. It sounds amazing. All right, what's the question?
I want to. So we got this is a preview, a little bit of a preview for some folks, for the people that listen to the podcast, not for tomorrow's episode, but for the episode coming out in a week. Um, we got 60 Cycle Hum got called out on Reddit, the subreddit John Mayer, because
What?
we're not fans of John Mayer.
Wait. Hold on. Someone in the John Mayer subreddit cares what y'all think.
Yeah, and, and,
Like,
and actually, like I responded to it. I was like, look, like I don't like what song should we listen to, and the song that I always that gets thrown back is like, oh, listen to one of the live versions of Slow Dancing in a Burning Room, and
no.
so I listened to that, and I'm like, I think I mean I don't want to get too much on what my take is on it, because again, like I don't want to spoil too much. I don't want to say all the same things that I already said when we recorded on when
Yeah,
Ryan and I
yeah, yeah.
recorded the other day. Um, I just want to know, like, because I think broadly, John Mayer is more sonically probably in your wheelhouse than in mine.
Yeah.
And I say that very broadly,
Yeah. I
because like
like John Mayer.
John Mayer trio certainly like is a lot more like that blues jam band kind of a thing. But yeah, I want to know what your John Mayer take is.
So here's my okay. So I got into John Mayer in the acoustic period. So early on, like when Room for Squares and
Yeah, yeah.
Heavier Things came out, I liked it. And I'll be honest, I like the trio stuff. It's good. But John Mayer is one of those artists that, for me, I know that this is not everyone.
Hmm.
Continuum came out, and that's John Mayer to me. And then I didn't really get
Interesting.
into
Okay.
his later stuff. I've listened to it at this point because I made myself listen to it. But really, my John Mayer fandom kind of really started and stopped with Continuum. I can listen to that album front to back over and over again and still love it. But this is something I was talking to with another friend of mine. I don't give a shit what gear John Mayer uses. I do not care. I am so sick of people fawning over every little thing that John Mayer plays. I don't care. He made some great music that I enjoy. I don't give a damn if he's using PRS, um, Fender, Gibson, which he's used for a couple of things, especially during the trio stuff. I don't care if there's a real clon on his pedal board or a Wish.com clon on his pedal board.
Right.
He makes music with the tools he's got.
I
That's my
think
take.
I don't know. I can't remember all of the things that Ryan and I have said about John Mayer in our history. We tried to revisit a little bit, and I will say that like one of my goals musically for the show, I guess maybe for 2024, is to be at least a little more. I don't want to say optimistic, but at least a little more open-minded. I
Yeah.
think than at least than Ryan is. Um, but I went back and listened
Hey,
to the.
y'all. I'm just letting y'all know because I know because Ryan's told me he's a closet John Mayer fan. Let's let that go to a
I
subreddit.
don't. He definitely.
I don't
That's
think he
not.
is.
That's not what he said.
No, that's not
Um,
true.
but one of the things so that's the thing that I was thinking about. But like I went back and listened to the episode, which was the John Mayer's pedal boards episode from like 9 months ago. That was the one that this person had listened to, and it is someone who follows the show and I think listens to the podcast. And
Yeah.
they are also I don't know who it is on Guitar Nerds, but they also reference the fact that the Guitar Nerds hate John Mayer, or at least don't like John Mayer.
I
I
mean,
don't know if that's Joe.
they're not big John Mayer fans, but I've never heard them like go out of their way to trash talk.
Yeah, so I went and re-listened to that episode, and besides like the 5 minute ridiculousness of Ryan and I simultaneously reading the guitar.com or whatever article on John Mayer's three pedal boards. I don't know if you remember all that.
I
There was
do.
like a week where you could not log on to any social media without seeing somebody reposting something about John Mayer's pedal boards.
Mm-hmm.
But I re-listened to it and um, I think the most negative thing I said is that I think his album tone sounds a little over processed. Um,
I
and
definitely, well, Sob Rock I really hated.
then
Um,
I think there's something where, but basically like the main thing I said is like I've heard I think every single significant John Mayer single,
mhm.
you know, and of course because the first one I named was Your Body's a Wonderland, people cued into that because that's like the common complaint is that Your Body's a Wonderland sucked. um or it's like that song's annoying. I think like there are some the musically has some interesting parts, but that song's really annoying.
Yeah.
It's very saccharine. um but I think, like Waiting on the World to Change is a great song with a really dumb message. Gravity is really, really good. I think Heartbreak Warfare is probably maybe my favorite John Mayer song.
That's a good one.
Um, but I think like there's other like kind of socio-political reasons for not like that I don't like John Mayer. I care less about John Mayer, but I think broadly it's just one of those things where I'm like, I don't like that kind of music. And then people are like, "Oh, you got to check out his stuff with Dead and Company." And I'm like, I have no reference point for the Grateful Dead.
Yeah.
So
I
it's like I might as well be telling you like, "Oh, you don't like metal? You really need to listen to I don't know. You need to listen to Warpaint, or is Warpaint a metal band? They're not.
I don't know.
I don't know why I don't know why I thought of Warpaint.
Well,
Um
I think some of the ridiculousness around John Mayer. First of all, I had to pull it up because I wanted to confirm. There
hmm.
is an account on Instagram called John Mayer Gear, and
Nice.
their only goal is to chronicle the gear John Mayer uses, and they have 112,000 followers.
Hey, if you have 112,000 followers, hopefully you're making some money.
Right, but I don't understand why people care that much.
They have
Uh,
9,000 subscribers on YouTube too.
oh my gosh. Yo, yeah, I've actually watched a couple of his videos. Usually when I was looking at a piece of gear that it just so happens John Mayer had also used at some point. But John Mayer has gone through so much gear. At this point, I think he even obfuscates the gear he uses because he's tired
Hmm.
of the reaction people have. And
Right.
I think there's also a weird thing amongst Taylor Swift fandom where they're like diametrically opposed to John Mayer because of that history there.
Somebody made that comment and I didn't really understand it.
Yeah.
I mean, like I know there's history there, but I was like, is there really like that much of a reaction? Because it feels like it's so long ago. Um,
No, it's still
there
there.
were
I know enough hardcore Swifties that yeah, it's still
there
there.
there were a lot of like odd comments that weren't necessarily directed like at us, but just kind of like in that vein of like, oh, there's like I would not say there are people who are like, oh, John Mayer. People think John Mayer's not good because he has so many female fans. Um, and I was like, but I don't think like Slash has a lot of female fans, and
Yeah.
I don't hold that against Slash. I hold the fact that Slash has 3 riffs against Slash. Uh,
Whoa, hold up. I'm feeling really attacked right now. Um,
that's fine. I don't even have 1 riff, so. Um, but it's like it's like there's just different things. Um, like I think John Mayer's music is fine, and if you want to
Yeah.
listen to it, that's great. Uh, Ryan's comment was like, the one thing I'll I do remember saying in this is like the other day I listened to the Shags on purpose
Okay.
because I just wanted to. Like, it's okay for people to want what they want. Somebody said, one of the comments on the subreddit, which I did bring up, was uh is if as soon that somebody made the comment that they said as soon as someone says I will never understand why, like you should just basically like they're saying that they are physically, emotionally, intellectually, whatever, incapable of understanding why,
Yeah.
right?
I,
And I actually disagree with some of the comments that are coming in. There's one that says, Tiki Flamingo says, John Mayer and Taylor Swift are kind of the same thing. Music for people who don't really listen to music. I actually
that's
think
not true at all.
John Mayer's music, in particular, is music for people who like are really into a very specific kind of music.
Yeah.
But
I think it's very niche. It's not niche because it's popular, right? It's not
yeah,
as niche as I want to say, but it is very particular. I do want to cover this sassy real quick. Thank you for the super
yeah.
chat.
Oh, let me before you hit
Oh
that,
yeah,
because I do want to get to that too.
yeah.
But but on that comment, like I'll never understand why da 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 da. That is one of the most common arguments or statements that I hear prefacing somebody saying, "I'll never understand why or how or whatever." You know, uh, Joe Bonamassa is only playing casino theaters, but Taylor Swift can sell 500,000 tickets in Los Angeles, and it's like, when so the idea that, okay, if somebody says that argument against a guitar god, like I'll never understand why people like Joe Bonamassa, he's just stealing Robert Johnson riffs. um Suddenly, like, I'm the
Yeah.
bad guy for saying that. I just said that to be controversial,
I don't
but like,
understand. Hold on. I don't understand why XYZ metal band has any fans. They're just stealing Black Sabbath riffs.
no, right.
I don't understand why anyone is a country music fan. They're just stealing whatever classic country lick. That's such a bad
Yeah,
argument.
it either
Um
works or it doesn't, and
yeah.
people like things. All right, go, let's hit Sassy's question.
So sassy. Well, I was just gonna say, I agree on Joe Bonamassa. I respect his talent. I really respect him and the way he does things. I think he handles business incredibly intelligently. That's why he makes the money he makes. I still don't understand why more artists aren't following his lead in the way that he books gigs. Um,
How does he
but
book? Like, I can you? What
okay,
do you mean by that?
so he and his manager changed the narrative on how you book gigs. Most of the time, when an artist plays a venue,
Hmm.
um, they work out a contract, and I'm not going to get into details because it varies so much. But
Right.
basically, the contract is that the artist is going to get paid X number of dollars.
Hmm.
The venue is going to get paid for facility rental, employment of people to run the concession stands and the ticket booth and those kinds of things, right?
Hmm.
And then there's something decided how to split the revenue above that, right? So the venue's going
Okay.
to get their money to run the facility. The artist
Hmm.
is going to get their money for showing up, and then there's
Right.
an agreement what to do with the money left over, the
Okay.
profit. Um,
Right.
Joe Bonamassa doesn't book venues that way. He
Okay.
rents the venue.
Right.
He
And
he
then runs
pays a
everything.
Yep, he pays a flat rate to rent the venue, and then he pays the contractors that run everything else, and he
Hmm.
pockets all the profit. Well, his
Interesting.
manager and and pays his people, but they've completely changed it. That's why Joe Bonamassa can make the money he makes playing smaller venues than
Gotcha.
some major artists. That's why he's playing theaters and casinos, because he can get those deals. And where, yeah, he's getting an audience size a tenth the size of an arena, he's
Hmm.
making more money. It's
Gotcha. Interesting.
brilliant. It's super brilliant, but people aren't doing it.
Yeah. Well,
So,
I think there's probably a level of organization. I think there's a certain amount of clout you also have to carry to be able to do that. And I think the fact that doesn't he basically runs his own, like he releases everything independently.
yep, everything's
So
independent. He's on his own. He's running the show. And
yeah.
there is no reason other artists could not follow that formula. There's no reason. Everyone else could do it. It's more work, yes,
Hmm.
but the revenue is there. Not that it should be all about money, y'all. I'm not trying to, tout just complete, blatant, like unmitigated capitalism. But
Yeah.
there's an argument for it. If you're renting the venue and paying for everything else, you make more money.
Right. Right.
Yeah, Michael Freer just mentioned that. No record companies, exactly.
Yeah.
No, I have none. That's just gonna leave it there. It's just
Just
I have no advice.
I don't know.
Um, the real secret to not being impatient when you're waiting on a new guitar is order so much stuff that you can't remember what's coming in today or not.
I mean, that is one way
Yeah.
to do it. I just, I don't buy guitars. I don't actually remember what the last guitar I
What was
don't
it?
know what the last
Was it
guitar I
that
bought
bass?
was.
Was it the
I
classic
think
five
it's
jazz bass?
no. Yeah, actually, yeah, it was. That's the only thing I've bought since I've moved.
And that's
That's the only guitar. That's the only guitar I've bought.
yeah,
I've
yeah.
bought a lot of pedals,
And that was
but
over a year ago.
yeah.
That was like 17 months
Oh,
ago.
yeah. So
Not
I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't. I'm not a. I'm not a. I don't see, the latest whatever drop from some import brand and whatever, and go like, oh, I gotta have that.
yeah, me
It's
either.
just not. I just don't have that drive. Um, I ain't got that dog in me.
Yeah. I am a self-proclaimed junkie for some of this stuff, but I have to pick and choose my battles because I don't get excited about the latest classic vibe or the latest I'm going to upset some people Firefly. I don't get excited
Well,
about
that was directed.
Oh, yeah, that was absolutely directed. I just don't though. But you know what? As soon as I played the Dave Grohl in LA, I
Yeah.
contacted my Sweetwater rep, said I want this. So it's already. I don't know if I'm in the first batch they're gonna send out. I know that in my account,
Hmm.
even though you can't pre-order on Sweetwater right now, you can't do it. I know that in
Right.
my account it says order awaiting product.
I
Dave
heard there
Grohl
was an
Epiphone.
I heard there was an issue with like Sam Ash. Like Sam Ash was trying to do that same thing as Sweetwater, and they went through and like purged their system or something. So everybody who was on a non-pre-order order, like whatever you want to
Oh,
call this
yeah,
thing you're
yeah,
describing, like all kind of just got kind of knocked out.
yeah.
So
I hope
I
not.
don't.
I really hope not, because that's gonna Guitar Center. So I know someone else, Matt from the Guitar Dads podcast, wanted one as
Hmm.
well, but he was gonna try to go through Guitar Center because it's local
Mm-hmm.
to him, and so he contacted Guitar Center, and they were like, I don't know if we can do that. And then they got back to him like a week later and said, "Oh, yeah, we can do that." And they
Yeah.
figured it out. So, uh, so we'll pull this one up. Sassy, thank you again. I wouldn't reach for Joe Bonamassa's music either. First, I bought one Joe Bonamassa album ever, and it didn't work.
Which it didn't play.
Yeah, didn't play. It played like parts of each track. And so I contacted like whoever went to the website, contact, told them that happened. They sent me a replacement. That one also didn't work. Same problem. Like some tracks just didn't play or only partial tracks played. And so I've never again since that day in like 2009 sought out Joe Bonamassa's music.
That's funny. Which album was that? Do you remember?
I do not
Probably doesn't
remember.
matter.
Yeah, I don't remember. Let's see what else we got here.
The only albums of his I think I've really listened to, the only one I really actually was, because it was real hot when it came out, it was getting promoted really hard, was Royalty. I listened to that. But otherwise, I don't think I've listened to any of his other albums.
He has so many albums.
Yeah, he's released 16 studio albums.
Oh my gosh. I was going to look it up and tell you which one it was. And then I was like, this will be easy. I vaguely sort of remember things about it. No, no, I
Yeah.
don't. Not enough to find this. Unless it was
Yeah.
longer ago than I think it was. Let me look. I'm going to try to find it just because now I'm interested. Um, it may have been a live album. Oh, yeah,
Mm.
there it is. It was his first live album, A New Day Yesterday Live. I remember the track listing written on the cover. Yeah, so that one, his 2002 live album.
I
Um,
like the review on it, on from All Music was that basically that the album was good, but the studio album had only come out like the a couple. See, New Day Yesterday came out in 2000,
2000.
and then
I
A
have
New Day Yesterday
2002.
Live came out in 2002.
Yeah. So maybe I didn't buy it in '07. Maybe I bought it even earlier than that. Um,
So it's like basically people were like, he basically made an album and then turned around and made a live album of that album. Um, and that's one of the criticisms is like, basically what was the point of this? Hey Hugh, good morning. Kyle B, see you in there.
yeah, we see
Everyone
all of
else,
y'all.
Matt's Tube of You. Eastman T386. What is the T386?
I
Is
don't
that their
know.
335?
Maybe
Yeah, it's kind
Eastman.
of their 385. Eastman was one of the booths that, and again, this goes back to the idea of what I was talking about earlier, trying to approach YouTube and everything, gear wise a bit differently this year. In my own, just in my own headset, because Eastman was one of the NAM booths that like I wish I would have spent a little more time at than I did.
Oh, sure.
Um,
Here's what we're about to do because this will be the first time we've tried this since we switched to this. I'm gonna try to share a screen. This may be very, very bad. I don't know which button it is. So just keep talking while I figure it out. I'll see if I can share this
um,
guitar.
no, what Eastman? I'm trying to remember if they were the ones that had. Was it Eastman that had like the weird? They have some like new guitar model this year that's made out of like, um, I forget what the material is, but it's like some kind of new material. Yeah, yeah, the D'Ambrosio. They're made in the U.S. apparently, and they're being made out of like some kind of weird material method. I don't know what the details on it are. Like I said,
Yeah.
I wish I would have spent a little more time trying to read about what they're doing. They're doing like a long tenon bolt on,
Uh huh. Okay, there we
which
go.
is
I was able to
unique.
share. This is a
Yeah, there it is.
weird way to share.
That
Um,
is a weird way to share.
yeah, it doesn't just change the screen. It literally just adds a window. But yeah, it's. I think that looks like a great guitar. I really like Eastman's. Um, I think they are underrated still because people still
Hmm.
see them for good reason. People still see them as sort of a budget brand, but man, they make some incredible guitars.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, these new
as for
ones,
tooth enamel, I don't know.
and this is where it's going to get tricky, is the new D'Ambrosios are like $3,700
Woo!
because again they're being made in the US. But
Yeah,
I've always heard like these the T386s. I forget how much they are, but I have heard in the past that they're
that is a
pretty
great
good.
looking guitar.
I mean, even like the T59s, these are all listing at like 2,600. So
Oh,
that's interesting.
cue the bolt-on haters. Um,
Looks like I can find a used T386 for like 12, as low as 850. There's one at a Guitar Center for 850.
oh wow.
Which it says it's 43 miles away. Which Guitar Center is this at?
How many guitar centers are within 50 miles of you?
Brea. Oh, I don't know. Too many.
I noticed that when I was trying to convince Ryan to buy a dual showman. Uh, dude, these are great looking guitars.
Yeah, yeah, they're really cool.
They're truly great looking guitars.
On
Woo.
the one hand, it's like how within 50 miles, actually within 50 miles, there's probably only like two or three. But if
Oh,
you were to say within like 70 miles,
uh-huh.
that number goes way up.
Gotcha. I didn't realize these were named for the guy who's building them.
Oh,
Otto
that's
D'Ambrosio.
cool. Apparently, there's a Guitar Center in Palm Desert. Not that I would ever go out that way. And there's one in Riverside that's actually almost almost close. I don't know. I haven't even been to the one that's like 10 miles away from me because
Oh
it
yeah.
sounds like it's so far away. And I do need to figure out a time to go there.
I need to go back to a comment just to very quickly mention. Um, where'd you go, Kyle? There we go. I own two Squires. Thank you very much. I do have two Squires. Both of them are basses, and I love them both.
Apparently, Trogly went to a Guitar Center. Where's it? I'm trying to find the video. Oh, it's like a video from 3 weeks ago where that's titled "I tried to shop incognito at Guitar Center," and then it says "I failed." But a lot of the commentary is like, "Well, yeah, you walked into a Guitar Center and started filming everything. Like, how? That's not really incognito, my dude."
Right. Walking around with a camera is not in it's dude, it's like the stage videos you see on like
Yeah.
Facebook. I guess it's
Now,
Reels.
yeah.
I
Now
hate them.
he says it's because of his voice, which I don't know. Like, I don't know what he sounds like, so that
Dude,
doesn't mean
okay.
anything to me.
I
But
like some of Trogly's videos, but I'm gonna say something that it may get back to him. I don't care. Because I like Trogly. I don't have any
if it gets
issues.
back to him, it'll be better for you.
That's true. His voice makes my teeth hurt. Uh, he's got this really I don't know. He does have a very distinctive voice. Um, and it's great. He gets really excited about everything, and I love that. It's if you're a Gibson person, it's hard to avoid his channel because he has covered every Gibson that's ever been made. It feels like at some point or another. He does like deep dives where he goes and like measures nut width and body thickness and weight and output impedance and pickups. He does a little bit like Phil McKnight does, only on the next level. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm watching. I mean, I know there's some other like things going on. Let's see. His voice kind of reminds me of Matt Pat. I don't know if you ever watch any of the
Uh-uh.
guitar game theory, film theory. He's the theory guy.
Gotcha. No, I
Um,
haven't.
but it is a very kind of like, to me, I hear it as a very neutral, like Midwestern sort of accent. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I just his videos come up when I'm looking into like when I was looking at the getting an Epiphone Firebird, which is
Hmm.
still my best performing video on YouTube. I think. I watched his video first before I bought one,
Mm.
and so yeah, it's just I
Tro-
the oh
Ian Johnson says, "What's this thing about Trogly charging 5K for dinner with Trogly?"
what
Uh, I don't know. I don't know what
I
that
don't
means.
know either. Um, I'll come back to your question because we're on this Trogly train right now. Um, again, don't hate Trogly. Have nothing against it. Never met him. Seems like a great guy. Just not my content. Even though I am the Gibson fanboy in this podcasting relationship here. Um, I $5,000 for dinner with Trogly. I don't know what that's about. I really want to know now. So I think Steve is actually trying to look it up. So
No, I was reading about the Jake Paul fight, but now I'm looking it up.
did Jake Paul lose?
No,
He won.
first round TKO.
I love this week on Trogly, the new Jacksons and how it affects Gibson, which is extremely accurate.
Um, so he's got a NGD service. What is it? If you wish, oh, that's like it's
I
like
would
if
pay,
you.
I'd pay $5K for dinner with Corey Feldman, not Trogly. Um, I've been in the same room as Corey Feldman now. I didn't
Hey,
pay 5K for it.
I'm not seeing. Oh, so there is a thing on Reddit: $5,000 or a dinner with Trogly. Um,
Oh.
but it's in Guitar Circle Jerk, so
You can't take that seriously.
um, but I guess that was like a fundraising thing for like his museum thing.
Okay.
So I don't know if that's still on the board, but if that's still a thing you can do
Yeah,
is
I
have
have
dinner
no
with
idea.
Trogly. If you are, yeah, if you're ever in San Diego and your schedule aligns with my schedule, I'll let you buy me a beer. Oh, there it is. Okay, so here, I'll share my screen.
All right, if
Uh,
you can. I don't. Oh, look at that. Okay. That worked
uh,
way more seamlessly than I expected.
so this is the $5,000 Ambassador Personal Tour. Spend the day with me and enjoy a private tour of the Trogly Guitar Show collection in Northwest Ohio. Many guitars will be able to be played and in hand. Gloved viewing is encouraged. Um, Up to 2 people are allowed per booking. The price includes the tour, an overnight hotel stay with a charming inn, and a meal at a local restaurant with my family and me at the conclusion of the tour. All you have to do is get here. Um, he's somewhere near. So let's have some fun with this.
So he's
So
got
that's
to be.
$5,000.
Yeah.
Based on his Guitar Center video, we know he's somewhere in the region of Holland, Ohio, because he talks about going to the Holland. He refers to Holland as the big city,
Okay.
which is because Holland is a suburb of Toledo. So let's just
Okay.
okay. So let's say Toledo, Ohio hotel, which looks like I can stay at a Hilton Garden Inn, which is perfectly fine for me, for $149. So for 2 people, I can go to the Hilton Garden Inn in Toledo for $149 for one night, and that's already 149 of the $5,000 you would pay. I mean, I mean, I think there's a point there. It's like you're gonna go look at a guitar collection. I don't know. Apparently, he has 68, at least 68 guitars, probably more in this collection. Um,
Wow.
these are pictures of all the guitars you might see, which is cool. I mean, but like overnight hotel at it's a charming inn, so maybe. But what at the
Yeah.
most? What's that going to be in Toledo or whatever?
It
Like
can't be more than like $300, right?
300, $400. I mean, I'm looking at Airbnbs in California, and the one that we got, which is pretty, that we're looking at, that's pretty nice, I think is like 400 a night, and that's in a place that people actually want to visit.
So I want to
Uh,
know. So Matt's Tube of You says Holland is the Montclair of Ohio. Well, can you tell me what Mississippi town is the Montclair of Mississippi? Because I've never been to Montclair either. So
I don't know what is that in California.
I don't know.
Montclair, California is Montclair, New Jersey.
Oh, New Jersey.
I don't know. When I typed in Montclair, that's what came up.
Gotcha. No idea. So,
There is also a Montclair, California. Montclair, California is in the Pomona Valley. That's where the SEPS 5 colleges or the 7 colleges or whatever, the Claremont colleges, if you're familiar with
uh,
Claremont and its various colleges.
I'm familiar with the name. That's about the depth of it.
Yeah.
So,
Claremont colleges is what are all the schools? Pomona College, Scripps College, Claremont McKenna, Harvey Mudd, and Pitzer.
gotcha.
So maybe Harvey Mudd is probably Harvey Mudd or Claremont McKenna are probably the most famous of those two.
Wow. So, Coyote Stardust says he's born in Montclair, New Jersey, or is his hometown. Hugh says he was born in Montclair, New Jersey. What the heck?
Yeah. I that's okay. I don't know. I don't know what to do with that
this
information.
got weird all of a sudden. We're uniting people who didn't know they knew each other. Um, all right, Snarky, you did. You paid good money. All right, there you go.
We've now entered the hate your spouse
Yeah.
portion of the chat, I guess.
For in my view, to be honest, your significant other talking about the money you spend on your guitar collection is minding their business.
That's true. That's
I'll
true.
I'll just put that there. Um, my wife and I have that conversation pretty regularly. Actually, we talk about it because it's very important that I not put us in the poorhouse because the poorhouse doesn't have enough room for all these guitars.
Right.
So
Richard Clark points out like $5,000 would get you a guitar building vacation at a number of locations. Yeah, you could let's see, for $5,000 you could probably get a one night hotel room in Elk Grove, California.
mhm.
Coordinate an afternoon with Doug to hang out at the shop, and at the end of the day you could take home a 3,400. Well, you wouldn't be able to take it home, but you could like start the process on like a $3,400, probably like a Cower Corona, like something
Yeah,
that would be like on the lower end, but that gets you like something like that. And yeah, you would come home. Maybe you wouldn't come home with it.
because
Maybe
there's stuff that takes time, not one
if you,
day.
I guess like if you spec'd it ahead of time and said, "Hey, I want this. I want all these things." And then when it's done, you're like, "Okay, I'm going to come and come pick it up." There you
Yeah.
go.
Well, I think it wouldn't be too much for some of these boutique builders, small
Yeah.
builders, for you to say, hey, I want to buy this guitar and I will pay this much extra to come pick it up in person and learn how to, shape a neck or
Right.
to
And
finish,
that's
do a
what
finish booth or,
that's the comment Hugh makes
yeah,
after that Texas Toast Guitars. That's what they do. Like they have in-person workshops. I don't know. It looks like if you can go a classic electric guitar woodworking workshop is $1,500.
uh huh.
Excuse me. Their most expensive one is their PRS style workshop is $2,300.
Oh, wow.
And I think, um, yeah, I think whatever you build while you're there, you take it home.
That's pretty rad. Mojo Tone does that with amp building classes.
Hmm.
Like
Cool.
basically, you pay for you. I don't even think it costs more than the amp. So you're buying an amp kit, but you're scheduling to come for a day, and actually it's 2 days, and learn how to
Hmm.
put it together. You've got to pay your travel, you've got to pay your housing, but you bought the amp kit, and now they have a class where you can learn how to put it together and have it
Right.
inspected by one of their builders.
Yeah. Yeah. Richard comes out and um,
Yeah, there we go. There it is.
Texas Toast, 2K build your own. But I mean, it's not 2K build your own. It's 2K get somebody to teach you how to build your own.
Yeah, I think that's pretty rad. Um, yeah, honestly, I really bad want to do that pedal show experience day. I'm not gonna lie, I'm that nerd. I get it. I was
Apparently, this is a service that people will pay for. I need to talk to Ryan about this.
yeah, that's a whole thing.
How much will people pay? I mean, people come to San Diego all the time, but then
Yeah,
we got to figure out how to force Ryan into it, and the money is the way to
yeah,
do it.
money's the way to do it, but you gotta create, like, then you gotta outline. Okay, what does this entail? What does it mean?
Right, right.
And then $2. This prank is officially sponsored by Jason Welch.
Nice. Thanks,
Love
Sassy.
it. Yeah, I think, man, I think that's a whole new realm of the gear life that we're in, the guitar life we're in, is that the gear is, there's so much gear. I feel like it doesn't matter really that much anymore. I mean, I
Right,
realize
right.
I do more conversations. Y'all are very much around weird listings, and of course Ryan does demos, but I think experience is now what everybody is trying to
Hmm.
do. Matt, JHS is in Kansas City.
Yeah. Earthquaker is in Ohio.
Yeah, Earthquaker is in Akron, Ohio, as is uh, Big Ear, and who else is in that area?
I think
Native
Rare
Audio's,
Buzzer.
yeah, Native Audio's nearby. They're not in Akron, but they're close by.
I didn't know
Um,
that.
yeah, they're Ohio based.
Um.
So,
So here's I don't. Is this a topic? Is this a topic I want to do?
oh, is it?
Uh, it's not, but I'm gonna say these words out loud.
I,
Um, a,
I love how sold out into this you are.
a couple companies, a couple discords plus like Reddit and stuff, uh, blew up maybe like 3 weeks ago, and I think it was their mistake,
Okay.
honestly, to do it this way. But JHS posted that they had two,
Oh yeah.
JHS hiring. Uh, I can't even Google it now. I don't have the listing anymore.
It's
But
okay.
basically, that they were hiring like two entry level packaging, build, whatever people, for like $15 an hour. The speculation, I think, broadly was that basically they've got like 20,000 or whatever Nauticlons to pack, and they need to hire people to do it. And then it turned into, like there's a big push for it to hit to have a nationalized minimum wage at like $15 an hour,
Right.
which the current is what, 7.25, I think.
Yes, the national.
Still,
Yeah, seven and a
now
quarter.
I don't remember how many states actually only pay 7.25, but and yeah, Ian's right. They did delete their post eventually. Um, but it's $15 an hour, and of course everybody looks at this from their own perspective, right? Where it's $15 an hour, and I think there was some chat. I don't remember who it was in one of the discords, like lives in Kansas City, and said no, $15 an hour is tough. There are McDonald's that pay more because
Yep.
they're having trouble getting workers, right? So I can't speak to that. I did try to do some rough maths
Yeah.
and figured out that I think you can at least live in Grandview, Missouri, which is where they live,
Yep.
which is where JHS is, and you can find apartments under $1,000
Yeah.
for like a 1 bedroom in Grandview.
And
So
the minimum wage in Missouri, I have a list right in front of me,
it's
is 12.30.
12.31. Yeah.
12.30. Yeah.
So it's a little more, but again, when you're trying to compete with McDonald's at $17, but that's probably in the city. I don't
Yeah.
know anything about the demographics. I can't speak to like basic bills for a single person trying to live on their own because I have never been that person. I
Yeah.
moved out of my parents' house when I got married and instantly did that whole thing. And also that was uh,
Long time ago.
17 years ago or whatever. I can't do it off the top of my head. So I can't speak to that. I know that like it's not, I know it's really bad optics. I recognize that it's bad optics, but I don't know if it's actually bad. What I
Yeah.
do know is bad is that the Roberto Venn, is it Roberto Venn? Um, yeah, Roberto Venn, which is a Luthery school, posted that Taylor Guitars is trying to hire.
Yep.
Um, and they listed these jobs for Taylor Guitars, and I believe the starting. Oh, here it is. Here's the post. Well, can I get it open on Instagram and then share my screen again? Opportunity at Taylor Guitars in El Cajon, California. Fast-paced environment. Develop your skills. Da, 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 da. Of course, they're reaching out to Roberto Venn because they are a school of Luthery, so they're going to have the connections. And actually, I think you're the guest that you just had, Noli
Yeah, Nelly
from
from
Collins Guitars.
Collins.
I don't know if he said he went to Roberto Venn, but whatever
Yeah.
he went to, whatever school he went to, talked about how like this is common, where if a guitar company is looking, especially a smaller guitar company, is looking to hire, that they will reach out to uh they will reach out to like guitar schools and say,
Yeah.
hey, can you send this out to your alumni?
Yeah.
So the listed price for this is $17 for day shift, $18 an hour for night shift. Look, I don't, and then the skills and requirements actually starts with knowledge of how to use equipment and materials,
Yep.
skill of operating machinery. So there is some
They want
expect,
a trained person. They want someone who's
there is,
already trained.
yeah, ability to be trained in production procedures. So maybe you don't know how to build guitars the Taylor way, but you at least are like, I couldn't walk in and somebody said like, look, it's a band. Look, the belt sanders over here. Well, I'm going to look around and be like, what the hell's a belt sander? Like, I don't know shit. I could figure out
Yeah.
I know what a belt sander is, but like, I could not, I name most of the, if I walked into Taylor Guitars, I would assume I could not name most of the things.
Yeah. Same.
Um, they will teach you how to run production procedures. That's any company is going to do that. But it sounds like there's at least some expectation of a skill. They do require, high school diploma or GED, or 3 to 6 months related experience or training. So maybe you dropped out of high school, but you paid for Roberto Venn school, and this is your foot in the door. That's all that, whatever. Where it's catching me, and I'm surprised this isn't, maybe this just isn't running, though, because there's not as many eyes on the Roberto Venn School of Luthery Instagram as there are on the JHS Instagram.
Right.
$17 an hour in California, in El Cajon, which I am much more intimately familiar with than I am with Grandview, Missouri. Um, $17 an hour is like not just less than In-N-Out pays. I think it's like $2 or $3 less than what In-N-Out pays. So,
Well, so
um,
I looked this up. Oh, by the way, sassy, 1994, the federal minimum wage was $4.25. So, just I know that because I worked
oh,
at
but
that
what
rate.
about with inflation?
Oh, that's true. I'm not gonna figure out the inflation from 1994. Um, but I after this came out and I saw what they were asking for, basically a trained, at least
Yeah,
a basic trained luthier
right,
to do this
right.
job. I decided to look at what Collings looks for, right? And
Hmm.
so Collings didn't have any listings. They have a very much, contact us. We are
Right,
looking for
right.
people every now and again. Contact us. But I went on Glassdoor. Is it Glassdoor? I
Mm-hmm.
think that's where I
Yeah,
went. And they have a few reported salaries there. I think they had 8 total for the title of luthier. Some were
right.
just luthier, some were professional luthier, and they pay anywhere between 39K a year and 77K a year.
Yeah. So
Um,
39K is probably, that's
it's
not
about
much more than $17 an hour.
it's actually about $20 an hour, but the cost of living in Austin, Texas, even though it's high, is about 35% less than San Diego.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And so that's where it's tricky. There are, like Matt's Tube of Views mentioned, this is a full-time job. Hopefully their benefits are good.
Yeah.
Some of the other people that, gave feedback on this mentioned that, this type of, that Taylor Guitars is an employee owned company. So, maybe that is a benefit that you're going to be part of that ESOP pretty quickly. Um, things like that. So I don't really know I don't really know what the benefits are. Maybe the benefits are really good. I'm just saying, like, at raw dollar, $17 an hour, you cannot live by yourself. 100%, you cannot live by yourself in San Diego. That's a 4-bedroom splitting with 6 people situation. Um, which, if you have that cool. And I'm sure that there's somebody, maybe somebody even that I know, or that I've met, who's 16 or 18, 19, 20 years old. Maybe they built a couple guitars in their garage, and they're just kind of floundering their way through community college, living at home, in the San Diego area, that this would be the perfect job for. Like, those people exist, but it is kind of tough. uh the other thing comparing to callings is, I would assume that callings, like you said, like, that's a luthier title.
Yeah, that's
Those
an
people are
actual
calling
title.
themselves luthier. This is day shift production. You're part of the production line, which production team, which, good or bad, like, I cannot um, really speak to uh, what that means for them, but I do know, like, broadly, Taylor is a production, probably much more of a large scale production facility, at least
Yeah.
compared to callings.
Oh yeah, there's definitely. It's sort of like the whole title of that episode with Nully was sort of tongue in cheek, because Collings is they are either the biggest small builder, or
Yeah.
they are the
Or,
smallest big builder.
yeah.
Just depends on how you want to look at it.
And I know he mentioned that during the pandemic, basically, they furloughed everybody who wasn't at least a middle manager.
Yeah.
And all of the guys who were functionally were like founder or near founder, those, it went back to that. So,
Yeah.
pro tip, maybe,
Oh no.
if you can find a Collings guitar built between 2020 and the, like, mid 2020 and the end of 2021, it might be better than any other Collings you can find.
Right, because it had their 5 best builders building those guitars.
Now, it might not be the 5 best, right?
Well, that's true.
But
Well, because like Nully said he did literally during that furlough period, every neck that came out of the
yeah,
Collings
yeah,
was him. They had 5 people building guitars.
yeah.
And
But so I said, the joke, the reason I say, like, it might not be their 5 best
yeah,
is, it might just be their 5 most experienced. But
sure.
based on the rest of his the conversation is, he went back to doing the next, but the reality is his job is like a very jack of all trades job, which is why he was able to say that he's an essential employee, because
Right.
he doesn't have one function for the company. He just reverted to doing next, probably on top of all of the logistical stuff that he also did. That maybe their best net guy is only a net guy, not a logistics guy.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. Obviously, like, I'm being very tongue in cheek about it, but
Sure.
it,
And
it
but
is
yep.
goofy to be like, oh, this is a pandemic Callings. It's
Well, it's
it's the
like
best guitars they made in the last 10
it's
years.
like the JHS pedals that all the insides, if it was made during the pandemic, it says made at home
Oh
inside
yeah,
the pedal.
yeah.
Um, yeah, it's I see this. First, I'll get to this. Matt's tube of you. You're right. Don't get me wrong. This is it. It's a great entry level into doing this if that's what you want to do. But it's definitely one of those. I'm gonna have to make some sacrifices. Have a roommate, maybe two, to get my foot in the door and make this work. And then there's this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's close to true.
Yeah, San Diego's so expensive. I've never even been to San Diego, but I've looked up cost of living several times, and it's so incredibly expensive.
Well, and
Uh,
San Diego recently has been featured in a few different, Forbes and whatever, as being the most expensive, not most expensive, the most unaffordable
oh,
uh location in the United States.
that's interesting.
Taking that title from um
San Francisco.
San Francisco, because in San Francisco, and some of that's tricky. Like, there's some nuance there, because San Francisco is only San Francisco County.
Yeah.
So basically, the only people who can afford to live there are people who have lived there for like 30 years, or people who work in the tech industry. No one else can afford to live there. But because of that, they actually rate lower than San Diego, because San Diego is an extremely diverse
Oh,
community,
sure.
where on the one hand you have, I'm looking at 500 results for San Diego real estate right now. If I sort it, the highest priced home in this listing is not even a home, it's a lot.
Oh my
The most
gosh.
expensive, it's 5.5 acres of beachside property, but no house on it, for $47 million. The most expensive home in San Diego right now is a home in La Jolla. For folks familiar with San Diego or unfamiliar with San Diego, La Jolla is an upscale coastal town. It is a 7-bedroom, 8-bath house for 39.9. There is a much more reasonable 5-bedroom, 7-bath home also in La Jolla for 22.5 million. That is on the high end. The lowest price, well, like you can get, there's an undisclosed address mobile home for $44,000.
Uh-huh.
There's some kind of 2-bedroom, 520 square foot thing somewhere. What is this? It's listed for $99,000, but I don't understand. Oh, it's also mobile. So you're gonna, you're gonna pay $99,000 for this house, but you're also gonna be stuck in, like, we have mobile homes still for under $150,000.
Yeah.
But if you were to take to go only if you were to take manufactureds off, the cheapest condo in San Diego is a 1-bedroom, 378 square foot, which is like, I guess my office is about 100 square feet. So like 3 of my office for the total unit is $270,000.
That's so I just found this, right? Let me see if I can actually show it. Oh my gosh, that's so tiny. So I'm gonna. You shared screen so effortlessly, and I can't figure out how to
Yeah,
make it
there's this
fit for mine.
I have this share screen button on, that's just part of the thing.
That's weird.
Yours is behaving like OBS.
Yeah, exactly. That's weird. So we'll look at this. So this is from Visual Capitalist, but they're using research from Pew Research Center, right?
Hmm.
And they're using a different metric. They're using the metric of for unaffordable as percentage of rentals that can be afforded in the city they're in.
Oh,
Miami,
interesting.
7.77% of rentals can be afforded.
So
Um,
here's okay. So
so
stop here.
here's
No,
well, I'm
no,
gonna go.
go back up, because I want to look at that list. Okay,
Yeah,
Miami. What is the perk? You're in Miami.
yeah,
Cambridge. What is the perk? You probably work at Harvard or MIT.
yeah, exactly.
Boston. What is the perk? Again, you probably work at Harvard or MIT. Boston's a little bigger. That last one, Chula Vista, California, is my hometown. There is shit to do there. There is shit. Like, everyone in Chula Vista that's making money works in San Diego. It's like Chula Vista's in South San Diego. So you're driving to San Diego. The the idea that like people can't afford to rent in Chula Vista is insane.
Yeah. And then you got Gilbert, Arizona, North Las Vegas, New York, Santa Ana, Savannah, Georgia, can confirm, San Diego, California, Scottsdale, Arizona.
Which, like, Gilbert and Scottsdale might as well be like the same thing. Like
Yeah, yeah,
San Diego
exactly.
and Chula Vista, kind of the same thing.
Yeah, like
Chandler, Arizona, that's also like, you're just naming neighborhood. You're naming suburbs of Phoenix at that point.
exactly. That's exactly what you're doing. So, man, it's just. I mean, we could rant about this. This is a weird economic route we've gone down, but
Yeah.
ultimately, it's there's no quick fix. There's no easy answer. It's going to
I
take a long time to fix, and it's going to take a lot of people wanting to fix it.
Yeah. I do think there's also like a big optics thing. I think we're at a point now where entry level or near entry level jobs, especially in skilled fields, I think um from an optic, this is like the 99 thing, right?
Yeah.
$19.99 is affordable. $20 is expensive. $99.99. If you buy a JHS pedal for, JHS 3 Series is $99. It's not
Right.
$100. That's intentional.
100% intentional.
A job that pays $19 an hour is like, what? Why are you only paying $19 an hour? But if they rolled that up and said we're paying $20, Taylor Guitars is saying $20. I think in my head I would have been like, well, that's still barely anything, but I don't think I would want to bother talking about it. But at $17 or $18 an hour, I'm like, that's freaking nothing. Now, translated out over a year, I do realize like the difference between $17 and $20 an hour is about $6,000.
Yeah, it's massive. It's a big,
so that
it's
is
a big
significant.
Shift. You're talking about your car payment for the entire year.
Yeah.
Actually, maybe depending on your car, depending on your taste in cars. My car is half that a year. So
yeah.
You were talking about real estate prices.
Yeah.
And it's just, I love to talk about this with people, and like, because I live in Mississippi, and like in my hometown where I'm from, which I don't recommend anyone move to if I'm really honest. There's no reason to move there other than the blues music history, but it's a town that has so much poverty and some crime issues. But like in my hometown, let me see. You can get a 6-bed, 3.5-bath house with 4,900 square feet for $90,000.
Damn.
Yeah. It's absolutely bonkers how big a difference, just location makes, but you got to have a reason to live somewhere. And if there's no job opportunities, if there's no job opportunities, set $90,000 a year, and $90,000 for a house is unaffordable because you can't work to pay for it.
Phil says, I like this comment. Love to see what guitars people in those houses can afford. I don't know if you see it. Yeah. And then wonder that those same people can also be crappy musicians just with all the best toys. That is a criticism, going back and staying on the whatever thing. People, again, like, I'm not familiar enough with Trogly to know anything about him. People complain about his guitar playing. I don't know if it's good or bad. I've actually saw people say that he can like barely play bar chords, which is terrifying.
I'm not sure I've ever heard him play guitar. I've only ever heard him talk. But
there is a thing where it's like, I think I am at a point where I don't really care. Like, I'm just happy that people are making music.
Yeah.
I actually don't really care if they're good or bad musicians. If they're bad musicians and they're filming themselves and putting them out there, like, I very much have the option to just not watch, you know.
Also with Trogly, everybody needs to keep in perspective. Trogly is not, he's not putting himself out there as a musician. He is he is a retailer. He is absolutely, I don't know that he has a physical storefront, but Trogly is a guitar seller. He's not a guitar player. At least that's how he puts himself out there.
I'm watching. This is just going all over the place. Let's see if I share this video, if it will also share the audio.
Okay, let me add it.
Does that audio come through?
I think so.
So this is just, I'm not going to run this for too long. And I mean, I think that's enough to get a flavor.
Sure.
I don't know if he does more stuff. I will say Coyote Stardust says his tone on his demos is not very dialed in. Which I can hear that. Like, this just sounds like guitar plugged into interface.
Right.
With not much else going on. It's jumping around. I mean, that's already better guitar playing than I'm gonna have whenever I start filming myself. So I don't know. Sure. Maybe I don't know. But the flip side of that is like, I don't know that it matters. Like, we want it to matter. We want, people to, I think, there's this expectation. Where was I wanting to go? Here's where I wanted to go with it. Like you said, like he's run. It seems like he's running a retailer. I don't know the story. You're saying like he's basically running a retail shop.
I'm pretty sure that's what he
Um,
does. He buys things to flip most of the
right.
time.
And so there is that aspect of it, but more broadly than that, and kind of back to Phil's comment earlier. I'm at a point, and I think it's for everyone. I think that there's potentially an issue where, people say like, well, give everyone, everyone who's buying these expensive guitars, like they suck at guitar, they shouldn't buy them. But it's like, what does it? I just don't know. Like, why does it matter? That's my question. Why does it
Yeah, there
matter?
was the original. I found it. Yeah,
Um,
why does it matter? Also, there's an argument to be had that you're watching a bunch of YouTube demos that need to be made and filmed and demonstrated to a certain level. Those guys who are out there actually playing music don't have time to do that.
yeah. Napalm, the most recent comment, I think that honestly, I think that's the answer. Um, it's a limited edition thing. Here's this guy who can afford the thing that I can't, and I feel, and you feel FOMO about it, right?
Yep, yep.
Like, and I don't think and so I think that there is a lot of that, and the reality is like, if um if you know well, like Emily just did the PRS SE demo, the PRS SE
Oh yeah, yeah,
CE24, right?
yeah, yeah.
And I'm sure there are people who are like, oh, like PRS sent their guitars to a lot of PRS SEC 24s fell into the hands of some smaller channels, and I'm sure there were a lot of people who probably complain about the quality of those channels. I know Emily's caught some stuff, and I think her demos are great. I
I do
think she
too.
does a really good job with them. But people complain. People complain about Ryan's playing. Like, why does Fender send Ryan guitar? And the reality of it is, if you're a better player, then learn how to use your freaking phone, learn how to plug your guitar into your computer, and make a better demo.
Done.
Like,
That's it. If you're a
like,
better player, do it.
and
That's
and
it.
the issue is, and so like maybe there's something to be said for the idea that
So wait, I'm
all of these people should be in house. Fender should have all of their own demo guys in house, and no regular person should be a influencer at all. And what you would end up with is you would basically shrink down the demo business to and I love these guys,
Mhm.
don't get me wrong. uh you would shrink down the guitar demo business to RJ Ronquillo and Perfecto de Castro. There would be no one else. No one else would be
Pete
good
Thorne
enough.
and Pete Thorne.
Pete Thorne.
Yeah, and
Sorry,
Pete Thorne.
sorry. Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Well,
that's it, right? Like, because
well,
Rhett's not a demo guy anymore. Rhett
nope,
hasn't been a demo guy for a long time.
nope.
A lot of your bigger channels, they're not demo guys. Josh Scott's a fantastic guitar player, but I'm sure there's lots of people who don't think he's good enough to,
He's an
own
incredible.
5,000 pedals.
Anyone who thinks Josh Scott is not a good guitar player has not been paying attention.
Yeah.
Um, but here's my take on it, just a little bit, as someone who is, started a podcast and is trying to add the demo or something gear related on the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
It's more than just putting a phone up in front of your amp and your guitar, because
Yeah.
some people think, oh well, I'll start a demo channel and I'll get sent all this stuff. No, you won't. One, you need a personality, and some of you
Yeah.
folks just don't have any personality. That's all I'm gonna say for that. But also, hey, I need you to learn some graphic design. I'm going to need you to learn some audio engineering. I'm going to need you to learn some marketing. I'm going to need you to learn. And then, even when you have all of that, and we talked about this in text messages about
Yeah.
another
Yeah.
channel that has all of those things. They rock all of those things. And most of you have never heard of them because
Mm-hmm.
they still have trouble getting traction
Yeah.
because it's still a crapshoot.
Yeah. No, it's definitely, um,
I'm also with
there's
Ian.
definitely a crapshoot to it.
Manufacturers overproduce their demos. And I'll be honest, when I watch demos of gear, I don't listen to the gear most of the time. I don't actually want a demo. What I want is I want to hear someone whose opinion I trust tell me
Hmm.
what they think of it. And that's what I'll go on. I don't actually listen to it half the time. I relate to certain demo and review people, and if that person who has my sensibilities likes it, I'm probably going to like it.
Right. Um, yeah, and I think that's honestly that's where a lot of people that's I think one of the things that's worked for Ryan. Now Ryan has been putting in a lot of time with practicing. What y'all folks who follow the podcast will hear in uh next week, I think. Yeah, next week. We just picked up TrueFire as a sponsor.
Nice.
And so Ryan's taking the Stu Ham beginner bass lessons right now.
Oh, dig it.
So we'll talk about that a little. But there is definitely a relatability thing. There's a presentation thing. There's a fun thing. And I've already kind of, as I work through, and again, I'm trying to get there. I haven't had a lot of time to edit. I want to edit all my NAM stuff.
Same.
And I
I
just
I
haven't
need to
had
do that
time.
today. I need to do that
But I
today.
but I want to attack that and finish the 3 videos that I think I have 3 videos worth of content before I start shifting into learning how to record guitar because I don't want
Yeah.
to juggle too many projects at once.
Sure.
So I don't know I don't have a timeline for that, but I've already kind of I think decided like my personality is different than Ryan's, and for me to try to emulate Ryan's off the wall insanity, it's not going to work.
No, it'll never
Um,
work.
and I've already kind of also decided like actually in watching this, I like the coloring right now that I have going on in my
Yeah.
background. So I'm not going to go for the bright white
No, I think it's good. I think you
lighting,
should
the
leave it
over
alone.
lighting.
I've gotten
Um,
used to it.
I do want to go back. There was maybe to hit a and yeah, oh yeah, Matt's TV. Some of the most amazing players in the world are working in midnight shift at Jack in the Box, and they're in the comment section on YouTube, which is the part. No, I'm just kidding. Is top sassy point had a topic call out if you can find it. Best amp to demonstrate a
Oh yeah.
guitar with. Um, and Hugh answered it, and I do agree with this, which was what is a crate
A
G60?
crate G60?
I don't know what that. Oh, that's an old crate.
Yeah,
But Hugh
no,
said
don't.
Hugh said it's the one that the maximum number of viewers can afford and find easily. That's I know it's changed over time. Um, but Ryan's talked about the fact that his first Princeton, he paid like $600 for it.
Yeah.
Now what's affordable and accessible now maybe it has changed a little bit. I know the price on Princeton's has gone up a lot, but I think it depends on where you're at. We've had a lot of feedback over the last few years that Ryan should be doing affordable demos through like his if he I don't know if he still has the monoprice amp, he might have given that away, but like through like the monoprice or one of those other
Yeah.
kinds of things. I don't know that I necessarily disagree because or necessarily agree because you also have to use the gear that like you are most familiar with, most comfortable with.
Yeah.
Um,
I
but I
I
do I think a lot of channels honestly like they're just using an HX stomp.
Yep. Or they're playing direct and they're using
Yeah,
plugins. I know Emily does
plugins.
that a lot. Uh
Yeah, Ian
here's the
Johnson said here's my thought on the best a free plugin like Toucan because everyone can use it. What's a
here's here's my take on this.
mhm.
And not everyone's going to agree with me, and that is okay. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You don't even need to mention the amp you're playing if you're demoing a pedal. You're playing into a clean amp or you're playing into an overdriven amp. Because everyone's going to have a different amp. If it matters what amp you're playing into, then it's only going to be really relevant to the people who
Mhm.
play the same amp you do. And so, honestly, if you're worried about having the most affordable amp that everyone can play, that everyone has access to, forget everything we just said. Buy a used Hot Rod Deluxe, just like Bill H literally just said as I was
Just
about
said.
to say it. Play into
Yeah.
a super clean Hot Rod Deluxe and you'll be fine. But it actually doesn't matter. The amp doesn't matter. If you're playing into a clean amp or you're playing into a dirty amp, you'll be fine. You'll figure it out.
Yeah. I think
Don't.
there's,
This is me preaching to myself. Don't obsess over those tiny details.
yeah. Yeah. Like I said, I think if you have the luxury of like picking amps, right? You do it from like a starter perspective. The best amp to make demos with is the amp that you own.
That's it. That's it. Just like the
Uh,
best way to
but
start doing demos is to demo the pedals you own.
yeah, I know we've hit on that topic a lot. This is
Yep.
again, Ryan and I say this all the time. People, oh, well, how do you, this is easy for you. Companies include you on their launches and whatever, and that's true. That's true now.
Yeah.
But at the beginning, there was a little bit of that, but there was also, Ryan bought the Nocturne Brain Fez because he loves DoD 250s, and
Yep.
and then he demoed it. We didn't have contacts with a lot of these companies. We would buy stuff off Craigslist, or again, like, hey, let me borrow that so let me do a demo with it or whatever. So
Yeah. I've actually
what's
got I've got a pedal sitting over here that I'm borrowing that I badly need to record something with so that I can return
yeah
it. Because
what speaker should you use?
one that works.
A PV Blue Marvel?
Oh
No,
yeah.
no,
Yeah.
God,
No, please do. Let's go.
gross.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's just true. Just I don't know what we talk about this. End up talking about this like every other live stream. It feels like
Oh, it comes up.
it does. It comes up a lot. Uh, just guys, just play guitar and
The
gals.
PV the PV Blue Marvel Classic is a 96 and a half. And this I think is improved from the old ones. A 96 and a half decibel sensitivity. I
Oh,
swear the old ones were like a 94 decibel sensitivity. Um, I just remember there was some speaker that was like a really common speaker that everybody had,
yeah.
which is why I thought it was the Blue Marvel, was like a 94 decibel, and so you
Uh-huh.
would use that, and then you would switch, and you would try, like, you'd be like, man, this amp is really quiet, and then you would switch to like something else, and all of a sudden like your amp on 3 was peeling the paint.
Yep. Hey
uh
Landon, you're right. Katana's a great one. Also, I don't. You weren't here earlier. We talked about your. I talked about your episode with Blake. If you want to know how to get rid of the thumbs up pop ups, the little bubbles that pop up, hit me up. I can tell you how to get rid of them because I had to get rid of them myself. Yeah, they don't happen now. It used to be if you do a double thumbs up, or no, it's the peace sign. It gave you like fireworks or something like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
It is so dumb. Anyway, so we have crossed that 2 hour mark by a
yeah,
fair
yeah.
margin.
I also don't have a clock on my
Oh, you
side.
don't have a clock. Gotcha. Yeah,
No.
so we're about 10 minutes over the 2 hour mark. So unless anybody has anything pressing to get to us at the very last second, I think we're gonna call this one a wrap.
Yeah, thanks for the hang, everyone. I think what all we need to do for next time is, I mean, maybe it's just a slow day. I don't know. We've been
Yeah.
holding about 40 the whole time, though. That's not
Yeah, yeah.
bad.
No, that's not bad
Uh,
at all.
and now that we know how to work the system, we can set it all up the night before, and
And
I'm
and
sure
I
there's
know
some.
I need to figure out something with my Apollo why it's
Oh
looping
yeah,
audio back through
yeah.
weirdly. But this worked. Plugging my boom mic or shotgun mic into my camera was just fine.
No, it sounds
So
good.
yeah, so I don't think that's a problem. I'll know that I need to do that for these.
Yep.
Oh, actually, I have to figure this out if I'm going to use this as my new platform for podcast recording, though, don't I?
Mm,
Yeah, so I
fair.
need to figure that out. Anyway, appreciate y'all.
Yeah. Thanks for dropping in,
Yeah.
and
Make sure to like, subscribe, thumbs up, all the things.
yeah,
Yeah,
go check out Philip's channel. 40 watt. Is it 40 watt podcast on YouTube?
40 Watt Podcast on YouTube. Please go like and subscribe if you can. I'm sitting at 800 some odd subs. I'm actually focusing on YouTube this year, so the first goal is 1,000. I really want to try to get to 2,000 by the end of this year. So about to see a bunch of videos coming out, shorter form content trying to grow that stuff. So.
Yep. And for the 60-second home folks, podcast drop in tomorrow. I don't know what time, whatever time Ryan feels like.
Yeah. Ooh, I have a new episode. I have a new episode coming out this week with Corey Congilio. So.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Cool. And I think that's it. So stay grounded, folks.
Yeah. Be good yourselves. Be kind to each other, and make some noise.